Welcome to the Contacts with VoiceOver tutorial. For this lesson, you will do 4 tasks with the Contacts feature of the iPhone. We will edit a contact, add a contact, delete a contact, and add a contact from the recent calls list. For all of these tasks, before each task begins, make sure that you have VoiceOver turned on, that you have your keyboard turned on, and that you open up the phone app. So that will be a Hey Siri turn on VoiceOver and a Hey Siri open phone. So let's get started. And once the phone app is open, I need to do a 4-finger tap at the bottom of the screen in order to get to the tabs bar. And I should hear voicemail, tab 505.
Tab bar, voicemail, 3 items, tab 505.
VoiceOver left arrow on the keyboard in order to get to the Contacts tab.
Selected, keypad, tab 4 of 5. Contacts, tab 3 of 5.
And to select contacts, I'm going to use VoiceOver spacebar. And then I want to begin back at the top of the screen. So I'm going to do a 4-finger tap at the top of the screen.
Groups button.
And I should have heard groups button. And then I have a contact on my phone whose name is AMI, Amy. And I am going to go to Amy's name. She has no last name, and I'm going to give her a last name. So I'm going to do VoiceOver right arrow until I get to the name of the person that I want to edit.
Contacts, add, but search, dictate, but section index, Susan Bernardo, Mike. A, heading. Hotel Roswell. Mike let det vit Dorothy ed subject a help to up back vit Bernadette American Amy.
And I did that quite quickly because I didn't need you to hear everybody in my contact list. The next step is going to be to do VoiceOver spacebar to select Amy in order to open her contact card.
Amy. Actions available.
Then I need to go into edit mode for Amy. So I'm going to do a VoiceOver left arrow. So it's the 2 raised buttons on the lower left with a left arrow key. And I'm listening for edit button.
Edit button.
And now I'm going to select the edit button with VoiceOver spacebar.
Done, dimmed.
And what you heard there was done, dimmed. Now I need to look for the last name field. So I'm going to do VoiceOver right arrow until I hear last name.
Add photo button, image. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate. First name, Amy, text field. Double tap to edit. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate. Last name, text field. Double tap to edit. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate.
I'm going to do a VoiceOver spacebar to click the last name field.
Last name, text field, is editing. Last name, insertion point at start.
And I was listening for text field is editing. I am going to do a hide show keyboard button, and that's this one up at the upper right corner of the keyboard.
Keyboard visible.
And to dictate the last name, I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to start dictation. I'm going to say the word, and then I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to start the hide show keyboard button at the top right corner of the keyboard again.
Keyboard hidden. Inserted items.
And VoiceOver does announce the name that got inserted. The last step for editing a contact is to click the Done button. So hold down VoiceOver and hit left arrow until you hear Done button.
First name, Amy, text field. Add photo button, image. Done button.
And then to click that button, it's VoiceOver spacebar.
Edit.
And then you want to get back to the list of all contacts. Since you're working with the keyboard here, you can use the escape key at the upper left corner of the keyboard in order to escape out of the contact that you just saved and get back to the list of all contacts.
Groups button.
When you hear Groups button, you're back on the list of all contacts. So with the phone app open, you're going to do a 4-finger tap at the bottom of the screen.
Tab bar, voicemail, 3 items, tab, 5 of 5.
Now we're going to swipe backwards with VoiceOver left arrow until we hear contacts.
Keypad, tab, 4 of 5. Selected, contacts, tab, 3 of 5.
I'm going to do a VoiceOver spacebar to select it.
Selected, contacts, tab, 3 of 5.
In order to have a starting point that works all the time, I'm going to do a 4-finger tap at the top of the screen so that I hear Groups.
Groups button.
Next thing I need to do is the Add button. I'm going to do VoiceOver plus right arrow to get to the Add button.
Add button.
And then I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Text field is editing, first name, character mode, insertion point at start.
And I'm
Use
in the
rudder
first
to
name
access misspelled
field.
words.
And I'm ready to dictate that first name. So to do that, I'm going to press the Hide Show Keyboard button at the upper right corner of the keyboard. Then I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to start the dictation. I'm going to put the name Kathy into the first name field. And then I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to stop dictation.
Keyboard visible.
Now my 2-finger double tap.
Inserted Kathy.
And VoiceOver lets me know that I put Kathy in there. And now back up to the Hide Show Keyboard button. Click it. And now I've got a first name. Now I need to get to the last name field. So it's VoiceOver right arrow until you hear last name.
Clear text button. Last name, text field. Double tap to edit.
And we double tap to edit it, so it's VoiceOver spacebar.
Insertion point at end.
And to dictate the last name, I'm going to use Abraham. Hit the Hide Show Keyboard button. Then I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to start dictation. I'm going to say the word Abraham. And then I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap to stop dictation. So Hide Show Keyboard button.
Keyboard visible. Inserted Abraham.
And I heard inserted Abraham, so I know I'm in good shape. I'm going to hit the Hide Show Keyboard button at the top right corner of the keyboard again.
Keyboard hidden.
Now I need to put a phone number for Kathy Abraham, so I'm going to use VoiceOver right arrow until I hear Add Phone button.
Clear text button. Company text field. Add phone button.
And I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Add text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
And I am not going to attempt to dictate the phone number. You'll probably remember that across the numbers row of the keyboard, there's a raised mark on the 2, and there's a raised mark on the 8, and I'll use those as reference points to just type in the phone number. So I'm going to type 4
0 4 8 2 4 0 3 7 6.
Again, I typed 404 824 0376. And now I'm going to swipe backwards until I hear the Done button.
Mobile button. Company text field. Last name Abraham. Text. Double tap to edit. Swipe first name Kathy. Text. Double tap to edit. Swipe add photo button. Image button.
And I've gotten back to the done button, and now I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Contacts, back button.
And this time I heard contacts back button, which means I want to go back to the list of all the contacts. So I do need to click that button. So it's VoiceOver spacebar.
Contact groups.
And if I'm listening carefully, I should have heard groups button, which means I have successfully returned to the list of all the contacts. The next step is going to be to learn how to delete a contact. And the contact we're going to delete is the one we just added. So you're going to start the same way you did on the first two tasks. You're going to make sure your keyboard is turned on. You're going to say, hey Siri, open phone. And then you're going to do a 4-finger tap at the bottom of the screen, and you'll hear voicemail tab 5 of 5.
Tab bar, voicemail, 3 items, tab 5 of 5.
Voicemail tab 5 of 5. Now I'm going to do a VoiceOver left arrow using the keyboard until I hear contacts tab 3 of 5.
Keypad, tab 4 of 5. Selected, contacts, tab 3 of 5.
And now I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click contacts.
Selected, contacts, tab 3 of 5.
And I want to start at the top of the screen, so I'm going to take 4 fingers and tap at the top of the screen.
Groups button.
And I hear the familiar groups button. That's my signal that I'm at the top of the contact screen. And I am going to look for Kathy Abraham. So I'm going to start swiping forward until I hear her name.
Contacts, head, add, search field, dictate, section index, Susan Bernard A, Lester, Dennett, Kathy Abraham.
And we get to Kathy Abraham. And I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to open her contact card.
Kathy Abraham.
So when you open a contact card, the name of the contact is read aloud. And you can swipe backwards to get to the edit button. So it's VoiceOver left arrow.
Edit button.
Click the edit button with VoiceOver spacebar.
Done. Dimmed.
Now a trick that I use to get quickly to the delete contact button is I do a 4-finger tap at the bottom of the screen.
Tab bar.
And I hear that familiar
tab 5 of 5.
Tab bar, voicemail 5 of 5. And I'm going to swipe backwards until I hear delete contact. You have to swipe backwards a few times before you get there. So it's VoiceOver left arrow.
Keypad, tab, selected, contact, recents, tab, favorites, tab, delete contact.
And it says delete contact. You're going to have to select delete contact twice. So I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Alert, delete contact button.
And then you hear alert, delete contact button. You have to do VoiceOver spacebar one more time in order to fully delete that contact.
Albums, Dorothy.
And where it returns you is to the list of all the contacts, and you'll hear the name of the next contact in alphabetical order in your list. It won't take you back to the top of the list. To get back to the top of the list, of course, you could do a 4-finger tap at the top of the screen. But for now, that's all we need to do is just delete that one contact. The next task we're going to do here is going to be to add a contact from the recent calls list.
Phone, groups,
and then I'm going to do a 4-finger tap at the bottom of the screen.
Tab bar, bottom of voicemail, 3 items, tab 5 of 5.
And I'm at voicemail tab 5 of 5. And I want to get to the recents tab. So I'm going to do VoiceOver left arrow until I hear recents tab 2 of 5.
Keypad, tab 4 of 5. Selected, contacts, tab 3 of 5. Recents, tab 2 of 5.
Then I'll do VoiceOver spacebar to click it. And now I'm on the recent screen. And I am going to do a 4-finger tap at the top of the screen.
Selected all button 1 of 2.
And I hear selected all button 1 of 2. So that tells me I'm at the top of the recent screen if I hear the word all. And I need to find a phone number from somebody who called me that is not currently in my contact list. And I can do VoiceOver right arrow, and it won't be long before I hear one of those.
Missed button to edit button. Recents heading.
And blah, blah, blah. And I get to
+1 678 672 3039. Incoming. Missed.
So the idea is
call
I had an incoming call from this number, and I need that person's name in my contact list. With 1 finger, I'm going to do a swipe down on the screen until I hear more info.
Delete. More info.
And I heard more info. And then I can do a VoiceOver spacebar to click more info.
+1 678 672 3039.
And I heard
Swipe
the phone
up
number
or down
repeated.
to select a
And I
custom
need
action,
to swipe
then double
forward
tap to activate.
until I get to create new contact. So I'm going to do VoiceOver right arrow.
Atlanta Northeast, G message button, call button, video dimmed button, mail dimmed button, pay, Apple Pay button, yes 223 p share contact, create new contact.
And it's create new contact. And I'm going to do VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Text field is editing. First name. Insertion point at start.
I land in the first name
Use the
field.
order to access misspelled
And I'm ready
words.
to dictate the first name. And I think this person's name should be John Acer. So the first name's going to be John. So I'm going to hit the hide show keyboard button.
Keyboard visible.
I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap, say the word John, and then a 2-finger double tap to stop.
Inserted John.
And then I'm going to hit the hide show keyboard button again.
Keyboard hit.
I'm going to do VoiceOver right arrow until I hear last name.
Clear text button. Last name. Text field. Double tap to edit.
I'm going to use VoiceOver spacebar to double tap.
Insertion point at end.
Hit the hide show keyboard button.
Keyboard visible.
2-finger double tap. The last name is going to be Acer, and then a 2-finger double tap again.
Inserted Acer.
Good. And I don't have to do anything with the phone number because I was using the recent phone call, so I don't have to type the phone number, it's already there. I'm going to do VoiceOver left arrow until I get to the done button.
First name, John. Text, add photo, button, image. Done, button.
And that's a done button. VoiceOver spacebar to click it.
Edit. Recents, back button.
And I heard recents back button. And I need to click that to go back to the recent calls list. So VoiceOver spacebar again.
Selected all.
And now I have added a contact from the recent calls list. And since you already know how to delete, you might want to go ahead and delete that one since it's probably somebody you didn't really want to add. So this concludes the video on how to edit a contact, add a contact, delete a contact, and enter a contact from the recent calls list.